Oh yeah, that's not gonna fit the phone. Welcome everybody who's new. Welcome back to everybody who's not. I am Alex Akai, and I am doing a reading of online stories, whether they're scary, interesting, or just drama. I will be reading. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining. I don't know whether that's too loud or not loud enough, but I'm putting music on in the background. What did I do? Oh, oops. I accidentally turned off my camera. Oops. anybody who is joining, I will be reading for a while. Use this for sleep if you need to. Once the stream is done, I will make it public. So, if you missed anything, you can go back and rewatch it if you want to. But nothing much has happened so far. I'm just looking for stories. Serious. What's a real story nobody would believe that actually happened to you? What's this? Nope. Me and my friends were out on the edge of the field of our local elementary school, and it was a ways out. We had 5 of us, and we, 5 of us, all saw this figure a little above our head, and it was a head to a body. A little above our head, and it was just a head to body or anything, and we all booked it. But as I was staring back at it, the face disappeared into thin air. I don't find that hard to believe at all. There's a lot of instances where it's paranormal stuff that happens to people. It's not all that out of the ordinary. Honest from my standpoint, when I was younger and I was going to bed, I saw a tall black figure standing in my doorway for maybe a couple of seconds, and it crept it also had a top hat too. That part is, people keep on saying it's the Hat Man or whatever, but it was a tall, lengthy shadow creature that crept behind my dresser. I remember being so afraid to try and close my eyes that night. I had a customer whose website contained an image of Auschwitz, the World War II death camp, as a picture of a train junction. No one had any clue until I printed it and showed it to them for a comparison of the stock image versus the ones you find online. The worst part is a newspaper leased space from them that didn't even catch it. One day I will get permission to post it. In high school, a couple of guy friends of mine got my best friend and I liquor. I have no idea how or where they were. I have no idea how were they only a year older than us. And we also had weed. My best friend and I offered the boys liquor and a puff, but they refused and only smoked cigarettes. It was dark middle of summer around 11:30 p.m. We decided to go for a walk on the trail. We stopped to talk. The boys were standing in front of us, facing us. The boys, completely sober, get a terrified look on their face and start running as fast as they could away from us. I turn around, see this 8 to 9 foot black, huge figure on 2 legs running towards my best friend and I. I yell, holy fuck, start running. Still unsure what the fuck it was, we came out of the trail behind the park we were at previously, but the boys asked why they ran away just to see if it was our drunk minds. It sure was not. They saw the same exact figure first, sober as can be. All 4 of us talked about it with each other. Still not really. But not really. Anyone else because they do not believe us. Scariest moment of life. I never ran so fast. Damn, bro. Somebody said I'm the sole survivor of a plane crash. It was such an odd thing to be called a liar on. People have come back to apologize in amazement to me because they found the newspaper articles. Wow. Here's the story of it. When I was 6, my father had his pilot's license, and a little Senna, so our family would fly often. In 1993, the plane crashed during landing at Clearwater Airport. No one knows who to fault, but I have my opinions. I lost both my parents and my brother. The EMTs thought I was DOA as well, but I started moving, so I was rushed to the hospital. I broke most of the bones in my body, had reconstructive surgery on my face, spent all of 2nd grade in a wheelchair, and had to relearn how to walk. I can talk about because of the years of therapy and compartmentalizing my life, but I still try to keep conversations about it brief because it can get awkward quickly. This has led to quite a few people thinking I was making it up and even running background investigations on me to see what was really going on. It doesn't help that I still love to fly and travel often. Honestly, I'm still afraid to go flying either way. Even though nothing happened on any of my flights that I've been on, which I've only been on 2. I'm still definitely afraid of it because of all the stories that I've heard of planes crashing, people or no, not people, but the engines on the sides falling off, something hitting the back end of it, the plane, and just taking the back end of it, of the plane out. And I am absolutely terrified of planes because of those stories. It doesn't make it any better that I like watching videos on true crime and other stuff like that. Really doesn't make it any better. I got lost at 4 years old in the supermarket. walked 1 mile at night trying to get home. I was 4. It was dark and I got lost at the supermarket. I assumed my mom forgot about me, so the next logical step was to walk home. No fear, no tears. I walked 1 mile in my 4-year-old legs when a lady waiting for the bus found me. She was really surprised when she found me. It wasn't a nice neighborhood. Walking alone at night at 9 p.m. took me to her home and left with her husband to find my mom, who was crying because she thought she had lost a child. I was usually calm, played with dolls and waited. I was unusually calm, played with dolls and waited. I was reunited with my bro and my mom, who were crying. We all cried. I've lost my parents so many times when at like Walmart or Publix trying to find them again because they'll say, go grab this, I'll be in the same aisle when you get back, and they've moved to a different aisle, and I just try and look down every aisle, but they're moving to a different aisle every time that I go look down that aisle. I actually once had to go up to the customer service area to be able to find my grandmother because of the fact that I got lost so bad that I could not find her at all. Lucky for me, she congratulated me on the fact that I did the right thing. I was about 8 or 9 at the time. I was at a high school football game with some friends, and one of our friends went into the tall grass field behind the bleachers before the first quarter was finished. We didn't think anything of it and just assumed he went home early. But a few hours later, we looked into the field and saw someone crawling in the grass. We all assumed that it was our friend, so we ran into the tall grass to fuck with him, but we couldn't keep up with it. We would see him in one place, run over there, and he would be gone. But after a while, the game was almost done and people were leaving, so we gave up. No one really thought anything of it until school the following Monday. When our friend walked in, we started talking about the football game last Friday and how we couldn't keep up with him. But as it turns out, when he walked into the field, he hopped the fence and went home. He didn't stay in the field the entire game. And looking back, that should have been obvious, but we were stupid high schoolers. Damn, bro. How do you think that somebody crawling on all fours in tall grass would be your friend? I'd say fuck it and run for the hills. I don't understand that. I know. Oh, there's a kitty. Look at the kitty. Yeah. Sometimes he'll sit in my lap, sometimes he won't. But damn. I mean, I know they were stupid high schoolers, but still, how do you, like, see your friend walk through the grass, like, through the tall grass, Y'all think he went home, and then you see something that you thought was your friend, like crawling on all fours through the tall grass. How do you see something like that and think, oh, I should go and chase it, fuck with it a little bit? That's a good idea, right? No, that's fucking creepy, especially at like night during a football game. When I was 6 months old, I got the cops called on me. And when I was 2, me and my dad were on his quad, and I figured out where the gas thing was, so I pressed it as hard as I could, and my dad could not get my hand off it, and I almost ran over my grandparents when I was doing it. I was laughing the whole time. So your child is a psychopath. Your child is... You are a psychopath. Whoever's child this is a psychopath. Okay? Like, what, dude? You were laughing the entire time and you almost ran over your grandparents? Oh my god. But how do you get the cops called on you at 6 months old? That's kind of weird, man. Okay. I met a woman named Karen who wasn't entitled and didn't want to speak to the manager. Nice girl. Very nice. This one is believable but hilarious. My friend and I got picked up by the police after we were floating down a river on a wooden pallet wearing winter boots and swim trunks in 90-degree weather, and then used said pallet to ramp up over the fence onto the highway nearby because it was easier to walk up the woods next to it than it was to wade back up the water. We were at least a good mile downstream. There's also a time that I jumped out of the same friend's car window into our buddy's pickup going 45 miles per hour down the road. Looking back at how badly I would have been hurt if I had missed, I'll say it was a stupid thing to do, but hell, I made the jump, so all is well. Who's this? Oh, give me a second. I have to read comments. Hello. Thank you. This only happened a few weeks ago. Me and a few of my friends, let's call them Mike, Zach, and Luke, we're at Luke's house. It was the middle of the day and we stopped at his house for a quick drink after we left on our bikes again. Luke went into the kitchen to grab us drinks and Mike went into the bathroom, which left me and Zach by ourselves in the front room while we waited. We just sat on our phones and played games and made stupid jokes as the door slowly opened next to us. We brushed it off as the wind pushing it. A few minutes later, the door closed faster than it opened, and being stupid 13-year-olds, we just laughed it off. After another few minutes, the door swung open, slammed shut, then walked all by itself. Me and Zach were sitting there terrified at what we had just seen. Luke and Mike ran in to see what had happened. After we explained, Luke and Mike didn't believe us. Luke then said, "If the door locked, you would have heard this." He locked the door and made a soft click sound. Me and Zach told him that was exactly what we heard. He just called us weirdos as he walked away. While he was walking, the door opened and closed by itself. All of us froze. We slipped our shoes on, chugged the rest of our water, and sped off to my house on our bikes. We never mentioned it to anyone else, and not sure why. That just gives me the heebie-jeebies, bro. A spirit having, like, that much power to be able to actually lock a door like that. Unless it was the other kid's parent that was like fucking with all of them. That would have been hilarious. But I don't think that the parents were actually home though. One night, me and my brother, One night, my brother and I were sitting on the steps by the sidewalk where we lived. We were about 10 and 12. It was almost dark, so the street lights had came on. And since it was summer, we didn't have to go in just yet. So there we were bullshitting, and we both look at the dark streets that met our dark side street that met our street, and see a creature of some sort. It was about the size of a dog, but its legs looked as if it were crawling in a back bend. It was fast. We were absolutely traumatized for the longest time. Still have no idea what it was. Ooh. That would actually scare the shit out of me. So, I also have this story from a while ago. Me and my boyfriend were like out at some point or other. It was foggy out. So we went out to like take a couple of pictures of it. It was like 4 in the morning, I think. 3 or 4 in the morning. And we were walking down the street when I stopped to sit down and take a little bit of a breather because it was hot outside. And Adrian, or my boyfriend, sat next to me, and I see this like weird shadowy, like not shadowy but black figure. It was tall, almost like stand up from crouching, and I was like, fucking run, get back to the house now. And we ran as fast as we could back to the house, and I took the long ass sage that I have over here, and I saged the entire room. I saged me and Adrian because, like, I don't want anything attaching to us. Because that's fucking scary. Like, that's actually fucking scary. Seeing a really tall, like, almost fully black figure stand up from, like, crouching. actually show you the exact sage that I use. It's not fully out yet, and I've used this a lot already for like ghost hunting and stuff. And it's not even, it's barely gone. Speaking of which, I will light incense. Wait, where's my light? The controller fell. I cannot find my lighter. I cannot find a lighter. Oops. Don't know where it is. Ew. What's the funniest real life story you can tell? Comments. Oh yeah, I have another story. A story from when I went out with a friend, just like roaming their neighborhood. We weren't even trying to do anything scary. It was just nighttime, and we were quite literally just walking around. And then was also my first time in their neighborhood. Thank you. This was my very first time in their neighborhood. We went to the park, and this park had a big ass tree, and there was like a hole in the fence, and there was just this like little corner in the fence where people could sit, right? And people usually use that fence to climb up the tree, but it was night, and this tree had spirits attached to it and shit. I saw a black figure. Actually, I didn't see it. My friend did. He saw a black figure out of the corner of his eye and just told me, "We're going. Let's walk somewhere else." So we do walk somewhere else, and while we're walking, he almost forgets to tell me that there is an abandoned house that we are walking towards. Right? Excuse me. God damn. I don't know if that was loud. Excuse me. This abandoned house. The energy from it was absolutely not good. So I called my grandmother, my psychic grandmother, and I asked her if she can get a vision of what is there for us as we are walking off from it. She says it is a tall black figure with claws, sharp teeth, and red eyes. The next thing she tells us is to say, you are not allowed to follow us, you are not allowed to attach to us. I do not give you permission. And she says to say it as loud as we can, as many times as possible. And then until she says for us to stop. After that night, I decided to make myself a protection spell. My very first protection spell. And I decided to make my friend a protection spell and go over there to, the next time I go over there, I had to bring white candles and sage and burn them to be able to get whatever's attached to him off of him, because he didn't say what my grandmother told him to say. Because, I mean, I get it, you're embarrassed to say it, but still, say it because of the fact that you don't want this attached to you. I think I know you. Maybe you do. I have a TikTok account, I have Instagram. I do post a lot. But this experience was absolutely fucking creepy because this was before I went over to my friend's house or neighborhood. My boyfriend was fucking with me, turning off all the lights in the middle of the night on me because I was still awake, and he went to the bathroom. But I thought that he had walked back in because I saw the door open slightly, and I saw a figure that was about my boyfriend's size and height. It wasn't. He was in the bathroom. Another time, he accidentally turned the light off on me while I was taking a shower, and again, I saw this like black figure that wasn't him. I thought it was him. Because I like turned the light, like I actually screamed for him and asked him to turn the light back on, and I explained it to him, and he said that I don't believe you after I told him what had happened. It was fucking terrifying for me because I don't get those experiences very often. Like, in the time that those occurrences had happened was too close together almost, because I've never had that many experiences happen so like time-wise close together. I also went. This was willingly going out and ghost hunting. This was willingly going out and ghost hunting with another one of my friends. So, I have multiple ghost, like, spirit box, apps on my phone. So, I was like, hey, how about we go down this area and use my spirit box app? And we weren't getting much of anything. I wasn't like feeling too much like energy or whatever from it. But when we turned back to go like back to his car, I felt like uneasy as hell. And we kept on. I thought we were gonna get the word run. I thought the spirit box was actually gonna tell us to run, because we were getting these creepy messages from the spirit box. Like, I should have actually said to run, because I just wanted to get out of there. Like, I was so uneasy to the point where I almost threw up right then and there. So, when me and him got back to my house because he was dropping me off. Um, I was just like, stay here for a moment. I'm going to get my sage so that this thing doesn't like follow us and shit. Yeah. Um, Also, there was another experience. My grandmother, um, my grandmother, and her witch friend went to a cemetery to go ghost hunting. And we were also looking for the devil's chair at this time. Um, my grandmother was ahead of me, and she was like, go around this certain area. And I was like, why? She was just like, just do it, and I'll tell you when you get over here. And when I got over to her, she was like, there was something in my path that would not let me move. She was like, if you saw me, for a second there, I could not move. Something was stopping me from moving. I did not like that she said that because I turned on my SLS camera on my phone as we were driving off, and I see something running at our car on all fours. Like, quite literally running at the car on all fours. It was not fun. Back to reading the stories, though. One day in college, a teacher had stapled answer sheets to the back of every test by mistake. A few minutes after passing the test around, his phone rang and he stepped out. Everyone had noticed the answer sheet, and we decided that we would all use it and tear it off after. Hopefully he would never notice. So I checked each of the answers, and they were all correct except for the last one. We were all to draw a flow chart for the process. I checked the answer sheet. Answers will vary. I drew my flow chart, tore off the answer sheet, and walked to the front of the podium to turn in the test. When I got to the podium, I had to know. I needed to see what everyone else had drawn for their flow chart. Answers will vary. Everyone had that on their test. I don't remember what the teacher did about it. Really? In college? Ooh. In college, and everybody wrote answers will vary. I don't. High school, junior year, first day of class. Teacher walks in. It's an older, wrinkly guy with a stash. And a little weird looking. His shirt is only tucked in on one side. Everyone is just getting the wrong vibe from this guy. Like, he's not all there in the head. He's got this manic look in his eyes. He's creepy. He starts going through the attendance, not looking up the whole time. Then he gets to my name, starts to say it, then stops. Looks up, scans the room, looks directly at me. Ah, Mr. 102194, I'm glad to see you're here. How's your family? Is your little sister playing piano? Is that model ship still in your dresser? Is your room still blue? I'm shocked. mortified. I can't find the words to respond. This creeper had just described my family in the fucking room I slept in at night. Oh, of course it is. It's only been, what, a week? Then he goes back to attendance. Panics were had that day. But anyway, the next day I find out that the old crazy guy is my uncle's best friend. They and my dad decided to pull a prank on me for my first day. The teacher wasn't so crazy looking the rest of the year. He shaved the pedo stash, which he grew specifically for the prank apparently. Dressed better, stopped making his eye twitch, etc. I have to admit, it was a good prank, even if I was terrified of being murdered for a day or two. Holy shit, dude. I would be pissed if my dad did that. I would be absolutely pissed if my dad did that to me. Which I know damn well he would never do that, because that's wrong to do. That's like a wrong prank. That's not even funny. Well, it's not funny to me anyways. It may be funny to other people. I'm an American in China, and I arranged a meeting with a guy from Germany. I go to his hotel, he says, I'm coming down in the elevator. The elevator opens, and the only Western face I see is this guy looking for me. Or so I thought. He introduces himself with a thick accent. We talked for half an hour before we both figured out that we were supposed to be meeting other business persons. And yep, there they were in the elevator area waiting for us. Another American and German. Go figure. Oh, this one's long. Should I read the long one, guys? Should I read the really long paragraph that this guy wrote? I don't know, man. I mess up a lot when I'm reading. Because I get other words mixed up. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. Well, not full paragraphs, but there's like at least 2 paragraphs worth of work here. Quadrobics? Yes, I do quadrobics. I haven't done them in a while, so I might be a little rusty at them, but I still try and practice as much as I can. But, oh, my knee! Holy shit! Oh. But I might, once summer starts, I don't know if I'm gonna have a job or not, but I might start doing, like, more quadrobics videos and stuff. And just that. Practicing quadrobics again. I actually here we go. I redid my mask, actually. I I absolutely love this mask because a friend had gifted me one of their masks that they didn't want anymore. So I turned it into this because I had extra yarn left and I put it on the sides with hot glue. And yeah, that's about it. But I was working on this for like a couple of days. My first mask. I still have my first mask. Give me a second. It's a bit broken now, but this was my first ever mask that I did. It was supposed to be an Arctic fox. I mean, I like the way that it looks, but it wasn't good, to be honest. It was not good at all. I actually sewed a lot of things into it because I didn't have hot glue. But that's about it for that. Kitty! Look at the kitty! He's so sleepy. He's so sleepy. Here, you can lay on my leg if you want to. I let you lay on my leg. But yeah. Back to reading the stories. Here we go. Yeah, no, I don't... Okay, I will read it, but for viewers' discretion, if you are a child in my stream, or like a minor that is in my stream right now, I advise you to be mature about it and not make jokes, like immature ass jokes about it. But you are in a stream that is technically for adults. So, viewers' discretion is advised for this story. After having sex with the fourth girl of my young life at the time, I decided to get an STD check. Not for any physical reasons, mostly for the emotional reassurance. Anyways, I called my neighbor across the street, who is 3 years older than me, basically my big brother. And I told him that I made an appointment to get checked, and I asked him what it entailed. He said it wasn't too bad, but they did a sperm sample, swabbed his dick, checked his blood, etc., etc. So I felt pretty prepared going in there a few days later. On my way to the clinic, I was feeling pretty nervous to ejaculate in a cup, but I reassured myself that it was going to be fine. When I got there, an older lady called my name and handed me a clear cup, escorted me to the restroom and said, "Please go in there." I was picturing more of a comfortable room where I could do my private thing of choking my chicken, but I thought, fuck it, the bathroom will suffice. I remember looking around for some pornographic material because my neighbor said that they would provide you with some, but there was nothing. I remember thinking, what the fuck, this place just expects us to use our imagination. Disappointed, I said, oh well, not like I haven't used my imagination before, so I began. Yes, masturbating over the sink. Anyways, I remember amazingly rubbing one out pretty fucking fast. Ooh. Oh. It almost too fast, so I thought that I'd wait in there for an additional 10 minutes because I didn't want her to think that I was some type of freak. After waiting there for what felt like an eternity, I finally handed my semen-filled cup back to the old lady nurse, who acted impatient and upset that I took so long. I began following her down the hallway. The woman set the cup on the desk table thingy, looked at it, and then picked it up again. She jiggled the cup a bit. She stopped and I held my breath and looked at her face as I saw it turn from confusion to sheer horror. She turns to me and goes, sir, we only need your urine. Oh my god. I will never forget the feeling that I had that very moment. My face got red. I felt immediately hot. My legs felt weak. I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. Oh my god. What? Bro. Oh no. Oh no. I would be absolutely terrified. I'd be like, holy shit, why didn't you tell me that? If I were a guy anyways. Because I mean, it would be his first time for an STD procedure. What would you think would happen? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna... Yes. Do you want to be on my shoulder? No, do you want this one out my way? Attention-seeking kitty. You attention-seeking kitty. I'm trying to read stories over here, you. Can you not chew on my hair or my necklaces? Thank you. That would be much appreciated. He is very much so a shoulder kitty. He likes to climb all over everything. Oh, don't hurt yourself. Okay. There have been so many embarrassing moments in my life, but luckily I can think pretty quickly on my feet and I can take my way out of most uncomfortable situations. As for this moment, there was no fucking shovel in sight for me to dig myself out. Nothing to say, nothing to do, I just stood there terrified. I just jizzed in a fucking urine sample cup. And now this poor elderly woman who was probably months away from retirement was now horrified and confused as to why she was gripping a hot cup of potential babies. I'm guessing the clinic never trained for situations like this. Even if she had made a joke to lighten the mood, it would have been better. It wouldn't have killed the tension in the room. It would have killed the tension in the room. Instead, she remained stoic. I felt awkward and scared. I felt like a monster. After going back to pee a few tests later, I got the fuck out of there. After much reflection, though, I now think that she deserved it because honestly, yes, I did assume that she wanted a sperm sample, but the woman never specified what she warned. Therefore, she assumed I knew what to do. And when people are assuming, chances are that one of them is going to get the cup full of the other's one's jizz. And it's just the way it is. God, I still cringe thinking about that day. Sometimes when I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I randomly think of that old woman's face and she realized she was holding a cup with my hot semen. Soldiers, and I just burst out laughing and shake my head. Good times. Good times! Ooh, there's still moments that I look back on that I should laugh at, but I don't because of how, like, cringy it was. Like, actually terrifyingly cringy it was. Like, the times that I made literal videos of me saying woo woo or Nico Nico Ni during like class in middle school of like 2021, 2022. And I look back on those days and I think, what the fuck was I thinking? I had way too much confidence that I should have in middle school. Ow, fucker. That hurt, you know? That hurt. That is one of the craziest stories I've ever heard, though. When both people are assuming chances are that one of them is going to get the cup full of the other's it's just the way it is. Yeah. I don't really have any favorite dances much. I don't dance. I don't have the coordination to dance at all. Quite literally, I have no fucking coordination at all. Aside from quadrobics, that's the only coordination I have. I can't fucking dance, though. I've never really been into dancing. Dancing was never my thing. Drawing and arts and crafts was always my thing. My ex-boyfriend's mom had her eye makeup tattooed on and sent her kids, who lived with her at the time, to the store for a couple of things. It wasn't until my ex and his brother were in checkout line receiving funny looks from the clerk and he realized that they were two lone men buying nothing but cucumbers and Vaseline, which his mom wanted to soothe the swelling from her eyes. My ex panics and blurts out, "No, it's okay, he's my brother," while gesturing to his brother. They received a major phase from phases. He just stopped talking and figured out there was nothing he could to salvage the situation, just accept the judgment. People assuming that you're gay just because you're buying cucumbers and Vaseline tells you a little something about the world and its judgments. I'm just saying. Bro. I mean, still, there's nothing that's gonna save you from it, but still. Tells you something about the world and its judgment. One time in college, my buddies and I were out at the bars. One of my friends has successfully picked up a co-ed and brought her back to the house. It was late into the spring and it was hot, and the old house where we were in didn't have AC. When this happened, we usually slept on the couches and hammocks that were out on the front porch. A few of us were out there for a while when one of my buddies got the genius idea to climb on the roof of the front porch to spy on our buddy getting some. He couldn't make it up by himself, so I boosted him, tried to follow him up there, but couldn't make it, and fell back to sleep on the couch. Next thing I know, there are 5 cop cars out on the street, front shining their spotlights at the porch roof. My buddy had passed out with his head resting on the windowsill, and the neighbors had called the cops. Now, remember, it was hot outside, so he was just in boxers. He eventually got down and explained the situation, but ended up getting arrested anyways because his dumbass gave a fake name for some unknown reason. As he was getting put in the back of the car, he was asking for the female officer to arresting him what time she got off work. The next day we went to bail him out, but the cop said one of us had to blow triple zeros. I made the attempt, successfully got the triple zeros. The cop gave me a high five. My buddy came out in pamper pants. What the fuck? I think my Instagram is in my bio. But I have it posted somewhere in my videos. I mean, it's the same name on all of my platforms. What? Why are you yelling? Yeah, I do. No! Are you kidding me? No! No! Ow! Ow! time to look at some actually scary stories. Oh yeah, I forgot that Eddie from The Boys has a Reddit, a subreddit called Scary Eddie. Ooh. Here's the big baby. He likes to put his feet out. Yeah, I'm gonna sell your feet pics on Instagram. Yeah. You know that? I'm gonna sell your feet pics on Instagram. He is scratching his nails into my cheeks. Come on. Oh. There is a bot in my chat. A bot in my chat. I've noticed that it is a bot. Get off of my computer. Thank you. I noticed that it's a bot because of the way that it is typing in the chat. I don't like bots being in my chats. Give me 1 second, y'all. What the hell? Dude. I went to share my stream and it really just did that? Dude. There we go. Okay. I am back because I had to do a couple of things. There we go. So, how's everybody doing today? Because we're getting a little bit tired. Not too tired. This fucking bot, bro. Okay. Okay. Wait, sir. This says, Reddit, what is your most disturbing, scary, or creepy real story? A few years ago, I was walking through the woods off the beaten track a bit, and I smelled this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look at a dead body. This guy had clearly only been there a while and wasn't looking great. All swollen green and black with various runny bits. A local wildlife had also been dining as well, dining well for a few days. Ooh. I called the police who told me to wait with the body until they arrived. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive and it got dark. And I was just sat there in the dark with him for a long time. It turned out he had committed suicide. For a long time afterwards, I had dreams about him and he would talk to me and not nice things. Mainly about how he was angry that I disturbed his resting place and he wanted me to kill myself. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing at the same time. He still turns up in my dreams from time to time, and no doubt it will bring me tonight after typing this. I can't imagine what it's like to actually come across a dead body. And I don't want that to ever happen to me. I will be getting off in a bit, so don't be too sad when I get off. I will stream maybe tomorrow night. I don't know. But I will be doing a stream on Saturday around 12 to 1 p. or like around 12 or 1 p.m. I am going exploring with a few friends. And if y'all want to join that, so feel free. After this story, I will be getting off. It was about 2 years ago. I was driving home from a family reunion pretty late at night, and the driver was about 2 hours. And the drive was about 2 hours. I didn't stay the night because I had to be back for work the following day. Most of the drive was on roads with dense bush and trees on either side. The real creepy ones, you see it a lot in movies. Anyway, I had been driving for about 45 minutes, and I was starting to get really tired. You know, sometimes when you suddenly become really tired out of nowhere? Well, yeah, that happened to me. I knew I wasn't going to last, but I didn't come across any place that felt I could park safely and safely sleep. Anyway, after it became clear to me that I wasn't going to find a place to pull up, my tiredness wasn't going away. I did something very questionable. I pulled to the side of the road into the grass behind some bushes to try and hide my car from anybody else who was going to come past. The roads weren't empty. I came across another car every few minutes or so. I made the mental note that the time was 11:22 and then fell asleep. Sometime later, I was awoken by a scratching sound. I looked at the clock, 11:50. The sound stopped after a few seconds, and because I was still extremely tired, I didn't bother looking around and simply went back to sleep. I was later awoken by the same sound, and it was now 12:40. This time, it really freaked me out because the sound didn't stop. The thought ran across my mind that it was just an animal inspecting the car, but why would it return almost an hour after it had left the previous time? I looked in my rearview mirror and just managed to catch a glimpse of something running away in the forest. Now, at the time, I thought it was a damn hook killer. You know, the one that scratches the couple's car and then slaughters the guy. when he got out to investigate, fuck that, I thought to myself. So I got the hell out of there. There was a bend no more than 100 yards up the road. And as I came around it, there was a fucking car parked off the side of the road with the driver side open. I slowed down just to look if anyone was in there. There wasn't. Then I looked at my rear view mirror, didn't see anything, and all of a sudden the guy comes sprinting around the corner and he starts screaming at me, shouting stuff like, hey, you, get the fuck out of your car now. I noped the fuck out of there and sped off. I never saw the guy again. Moral of the story, don't fucking sleep on the side of a deserted road. Yeah, pretty much. But that will be all for today. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.